All right. What's going on, you guys? Charlie and Tiny here today. We're gonna actually be spending a little bit of time in this episode in the dyno room. We're gonna be showing you guys what it is that we actually use that for. A lot of stuff on the R&D side, so that's why we've got Tiny here, because again, Dalen's not here. He decided to abandon us all and head out to San Jose to pick up some car. And you know what? Hopefully it's not a complete waste of time. But anyways, we're gonna be spending some time in here. We're gonna do a few different pulls on the dyno, so definitely stick around to check those out. We've got the Mark V Supra on there today, so it should be pretty cool. Let's talk about the whole Dalen situation for a minute here. Dalen, obviously, like we said, he went on a road trip to go pick up a car, so we're doing the social distancing thing since he has traveled. We're staying 6 feet apart, at least from Dalen for that matter. He's actually not allowed in the building either. We're trying to keep him away from everybody else in case for some reason he's sick, and we don't want him to get anybody else sick. But we've kept him at distance, far enough to where we're not going to get sick. I think that's good.
I think we might just leave him there permanently.
I don't know.
Tiny, you're just, no.
He can't heckle you from that far as
He
easily.
can.
I can absolutely.
Dalen,
Hi.
the dyno's cool and all, but why do we have this?
Charlie, that is a very good question. So the dyno originally was installed here because we were a service shop. We did a lot of dyno tuning of all the vehicles that we built. As we've kind of progressed away from that and changed to no longer doing the installs and doing the tunes, it's all for in-house work. So we utilize it for the development of our OTS tunes and for a lot of our hard parts and all the testing. It's just a much more safer and more kind of controlled environment than trying to street test everything. When we talk about our OTS tunes, this is something I get asked about and I have to talk to kind of almost every day. Our OTS tune program has hundreds, if not thousands of hours on this dyno depending on the vehicle. And that's talking from full power pulls to drivability to almost anything you can imagine our calibrator here is touching on. The OTS Tune program itself, I would say, is about 95% of the dyno's use at this time. To touch on those OTS tunes, so those tunes are developed solely for our in-house products. So we offer a Stage 1, Stage 1 Plus, and Stage 2, and Stage 2 Plus for some vehicles, and Stage 3 is under development for a few of them. Each one of those coincides with hard parts that we manufacture for that car. So for a Stage 1, that is going to be just a stock vehicle, so no modifications, intake, downpipe, stuff like that. Stage 1 Plus is going to be for our intake-only vehicles. Stage 2, intake and downpipe, or if it's a Subaru, J-pipe, or kind of whatever we call it today. And then on the Subaru, we have a Stage 2 Plus, which adds the intercooler itself. Like I said, each one of those undergoes hundreds, if not thousands of hours of development work. And right now we actually have the Supra on there, which is probably our most recent vehicle to be kind of inducted into the OTS Tune program. With this vehicle, there's a huge learning curve. It's such a modern vehicle. We're utilizing something other than Cobb, which is kind of our normal process. So there's just a lot of learning to be had, and it's a vehicle that's just a lot going on. We've had the vehicle now for a couple months, and we have a Stage 1 and a Stage 2 tune currently in development with it. I think we're gonna do some pulls with the car a little bit later, kind of show you guys what we're doing, and Tiny will touch on that a little bit more. But yeah, kind of back to you guys. You can show how we actually use the dyno since I can't go inside.
Well, there you have it, and that's actually what we got Tiny here for. He knows very well how to use the dyno. He's done a lot of testing on it himself. So he's gonna kind of be the guide for me today. He's gonna show us how that all works, and ultimately then he'll be the one performing the pulls on the dyno with the Supra. So yeah,
Let's get the door closed and
Don't close the door. Oh.
See, Dalen!
Oh.
I miss you! Hey!
I want to give you hand gestures that I can't do on camera.
See? What you said, goodbye!
All right, man, so go ahead and tell me, you know, how do we get this thing ready to go, do some pulls, and start with that, I guess.
Yeah, so obviously our dyno is in ground. It makes life really easy. Just drive from the outside in.
And what kind of dyno is this?
So this is a DynoJet 424X. There's obviously tons of different brands of dynos, just to rattle some off. DynoJet, Mustang, Dyno Dynamics are some of the more common ones you're gonna see. The kind of thing with dynos is it's hard to compare between brands and even between the same dynos at different shops, as the readings can just be different and lead to more confusion than real answers in some states. It's really more of a tool to tell you the right now. And that's what we generally use it here for, is comparisons before and after when we're doing tuning work.
Okay, and what else do we do with this besides these off-the-shelf tunes?
So yeah, other than the shop cars that we own here and work on in-house, the other probably 5% of the time this dyno is getting used for after-hours work with employees that work here, their own cars. We've had tons of employees make loads of power on this dyno.
Sure.
It's had, you know, quite the legacy of the dyno runs on it, honestly. It's seen a lot of cars, seen a lot of miles. The rollers are...
I've heard we've seen a few cars even blow up on here.
Oh, yeah. Lots of drive shaft explosions. Underneath the car actually is a catch pan almost that is pretty well dented from a couple of, I think it was like a Baja truck, a Turbo LS Baja truck that had drive shaft explode.
Okay.
It's seen a lot of cool stuff. A lot of interesting builds have been on this dyno over the years, just for all the work that we've done, whether it be customers back in the old days and then employees just having cool, interesting projects here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what do you say we get ready to go and do a few pulls?
Absolutely.
All right, so now we're ready to do some pulls, huh?
We're all dyno moded up here in the Supra, so not gonna have any weirdities. Strapped up. This bad dog's not going anywhere. Yeah, we're ready to go. It's pretty simple. You've got your controller here with, you know, start run, brakes, which also ends the run. If you have some other, lots of dynos have lots of features. This one's pretty basic, so not a lot of these buttons do anything, but they're there if you need them. Also have fan control for our inlet and outlet fans. It's really important that you keep the air in here clean and fresh. One, for your own safety, and two, it just helps the car make power. I mean, fresh air is good air.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, ready?
Yeah, dude, I'm ready. Let's fire this thing up and do some things.
Let her warm up here, turn the fans on. So, I guess we'll just start going. Get her up to speed. Supra, generally dyno in 5th gear.
All right.
So, pick your starting RPM point, usually something that you can replicate. So 2000 RPM for this is low or high enough that it's not going to bog right away, and low enough that it's not going to miss out on a whole bunch of power.
Okay.
So I usually like to ramp up to it, hit start, and then be full in it at 2000 RPM.
All right. All right, cool, go ahead.
So we're ready for round 2.
Pull number 2. Get her into 5th, and here we go.
Making consistent power. The graphs look really similar, which is kind of what you're looking for. Obviously the first one I kind of messed up when I stepped on it. It's been a while. I haven't done any dyno work in a while. It's been a little sad when we said we were going to shoot a video on the dyno. So I'm pretty happy to be back on it. It's been some time.
Absolutely.
So what's really interesting about automatic cars on the dyno is I had never dynoed an auto until I did this one. And
Okay.
when I was talking to our tuner about it, I was like, what do you do once you reach the red line? And he's like, just shift into the next gear, which is so weird to me. Like,
yeah.
But like, literally you shift and end the run at the exact same time.
Huh.
And that's what gives you a good result. With a manual, obviously, you just put it in
Right,
neutral.
right.
This is a little bit more difficult to just do that. So
yeah.
I'll do one more.
Dang! All right, so what are we making for numbers here?
So right now we're in really good shape. Honestly, we're a little bit north of 420, looking at the 422 in a couple of these, 424 even.
Okay.
Torque is way up there in the 460s throughout most of the poles, which is in line with the kind of beta baseline that we've set. So all this is still kind of subject to change and still doing testing, kind of figuring out what's most optimal for customers as far as longevity and performance. What kind of meets in the middle. That's where these OTS tunes really fall. They don't push the boundaries too far, but also give you a lot better performance in stock. So we spend a lot of time really dialing it in and figuring out what power level is going to give you a much more fun experience over stock.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's solid numbers. I mean, if you basically left the car stock otherwise and slapped this on there, this is kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah, so
obviously this is subject to change, but
so right now this is a stage 1 plus. I guess that number was a stage 1, so this probably would be in line to what you might even see a little bit higher numbers than we are right now. Just like I said, still doing some development, still learning the process, working the process.
Yeah.
So we might even see numbers higher than this in a stage 1 plus configuration, but these are about what you'd see at stage 1 numbers with a stock car.
Right on. Cool. All right, you guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys liked what you saw. If you're interested in getting any of these off-the-shelf tunes that we referenced for your car, go ahead and check those links in the description, because those will take you over to check out our full collection of off-the-shelf tunes by MAP. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Thanks, Tiny, for helping us out and getting this thing on there and doing some pulls. Really appreciate it, man.
Anytime. Literally.
Anytime we want to do it, he's literally always here. Anyways, guys, if you want to check out what's going on and what you can expect from the next MAPTV episode behind the scenes, here's what you can expect.
Like these main stud kits for these 4G63s, like when I open one box, like there's 5 other boxes for 5 other blocks.
Yeah.
Because we do batch runs for the most part. So,
You can, yeah, I mean, it's just, you're just fighting a little bit of stuff. Do you see anything abnormal in there? Is that abnormal? Honestly, that's probably from something contacting the pan. Okay. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.